to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. My name's Carol, and this is a general reading for Aries for the month of March 2024. So Aries, what we're going to be looking at in this reading is I'm going to first look at your current energy, where you're sitting. Are you sitting in, a certain pattern that's repeating in your life? Are you sitting in some kind of struggle? You're looking for maybe some guidance. You're having to make a decision about something. And that's what you're consciously aware of. Now, then what I'm going to look at after that is what's coming up in your shadow. So what is sitting in your unconscious that is impacting your situation that you're sitting in? And so we're going to do a little bit of shadow work. If that's something that's new to you, I will link that in the description box below. There's a video on shadow work in there. And then I'm going to get some guidance from the tarot as to how we can, sort of what next step that you need to take. And then I'm going to leave you with a video that I've made for you for some advice. So let's get started. I'm going to start out with the Light Seer's Tarot deck. And I'm going to ask the tarot to give me a card for your current energy, where you're sitting right now. So one card, please, for Aries. Current energy, please. Oh, that one fell out. Six of Wands in reverse. There's our first card. And what's sitting in your shadow that's impacting the Six of Wands here? That one came out flying, the Hierophant card. And let's look at advice from the tarot, please. One card for advice from the tarot. We got the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles. Okay, just gonna look. Yeah, I'll leave that there. Just a minute. Okay, so let's clarify these three cards with the Rider-Waite deck. So two cards for the Six of Wands. Just gonna shuffle them once here. I think I better do it twice here. All right. Two cards for clarification, please. Six of Wands. Okay, you got the Two of Cups and the Lovers. Clarification. Two cards for the Hierophant. Two cards for the Hierophant, please. One more card for the Hierophant, please. You have the Queen of Pentacles. And one more card here. Queen of Pentacles didn't want to come out. One more card, please. Okay, what I'm going to do is shuffle a different way. I don't want to come out that way. There we go. Okay, I'll take this one. The Eight of Wands in reverse. All right, so the Nine of Pentacles. Two cards, please. The Four of Cups. One more card, please. One more card for clarification of the Nine of Pentacles. Ooh, got two. We have the Ace of Wands. And, yeah, the Hermit card. Sorry, not the Hermit card. The Hermit's with the light. I apologize. The Five of Cups. The Five of Cups. I just looked at the figure. Okay, Five of Cups here. Alright, that's better. Brings it into view there. And that one. Okay. So, I did a 2024 yearly reading for you, Aries, and I've left it in a link in the description box for you if you want to have a look at that. And in that reading, I took out 12 cards, and for March, I pulled out the Two of Swords for you. And so what this tells me is that this is kind of the overriding energy for you starting off our reading here in March. And the Swords, Two of Swords is about having to make this decision. You're sitting here and you know there's a decision you have to make. And you're not even going to entertain the thought of making it. I mean, you have a blindfold on and you're not doing it because it could be too painful. It's just you don't know which direction to go into. And that's usually the cases where you're just kind of stuck. And you just get to a point where you're just like, you know what, I'm not doing it. And what you don't realize is if you took, you're trying to decide between these two swords, and what you don't realize is you take the blindfold off, that these two swords are exactly the same thing. But it's not that easy. But there is a decision for you to make. And so how are we going to get you to take the blindfold off and to make that decision? And so let's look at the energy right now that you're sitting in for going into March. That being the overriding energy for us. And the first one is the Six of Wands. And so your current energy you're sitting in is a Six of Wand energy. And the Six of Wand energy is like, if you turn this upright, it looks like she's celebrating something. It's a victory card. And you have the victory wreath here, right here on the side. And it looks like she's won something. But the sixes have a duality to them. And so when I say duality, I mean that there's like a give and a take, or a win or a loss, or black and white. And in this situation is she's won something. But what we don't see here are, and what she has a difficult time seeing, are all these invisible people, and I can see them, and I know you won't be able to see them probably in the background, is these invisible people here that she doesn't see them. She doesn't see all these people that are cheering her on, because the duality of this card is that, yes, it looks like you've won something or she's won something, but there's also something that she's lost and she's not seeing that. And so you're sitting in a real, and this is in there's a resistance to seeing that. So there is a resistance for you that's sitting here. And it makes sense because we said that you're in the Two of Wands energy, where you're sitting here and you're trying to make this decision, but you don't see the other side. You're having difficulty seeing both sides. Maybe you see one side, but you don't see the other side. And sometimes, what really needs to happen, and let's just carry on before I give you any advice. Sorry. So then the Two of Cups card comes up as clarification, and the Two of Cups speaks about an exchange. It's an exchange between two people, and I'm seeing, so it could be the beginning of a relationship, but what I see this card is more of a beginning of a relationship that you're starting with yourself, that you're starting to get in touch a little bit with who you really are, and trying to figure out, what am I all about? Because, like I said, there's this side of you that you don't see. And yes, it looks like it's a victory card, but there's another side of you that you don't see. And this card is like a beginning of it. There's a real caduceus here and this winged lion that's overriding it. And so it's a real healing relationship here. So it looks like there's a relationship, an inner relationship with yourself, a healing relationship that's starting to happen with yourself. And so you're going to get in touch with that other side. And even, to have the Two of Cups and the Lover's side by side is probably extremely rare to come up, because this is the Two of Cups is the minor arcana card, and this is the major arcana. So this is, your daily things that you do. And this is the Lover's card, which is like this influence, this big universal influence that comes in here. And it is about this intimate relationship, this masculine side of us and this feminine side of us, and getting connected to our feminine side, because it's the feminine side here that is linked, up to the universe here, the spirit, the creator, and it's the masculine that looks towards the feminine. It's not, the masculine isn't looking up. Now, this has nothing to do with gender. It's all about our masculine and feminine side. And so there is a real intimate relationship here in with this Lover's card, and this Two of Cups is coming up. So I see you sitting in a real position in your life right now where you're starting to really go inwards and recognize that in order to get yourself out of this stuck pattern that you seem to be in March, you're starting to realize that you need to go inwards and start to have this relationship to the other part of you that you don't really know. And maybe you're starting to question, is there another side of me? Is there another part of me that I need to look at, that I need to get to know? And so in your unconscious, which is in your shadow, what you're not really, you don't see what's coming up, but it's having an impact on this, is the Hierophant. This is a very deep reading here, and it's very interesting for the Hierophant card to come in. And so what's in our shadow are things that we've put away when we grew up, when we were growing up. People told us things, and we've learned things from different people, and rules and obedience, and that's all in our shadow, and things that we're supposed to do and not supposed to do. And so what's happening is here, the Hierophant is all about the way that we were wired. It's all about our, the way that we learn to be obedient. It's all about those things, that the conditionings, our patternings. That's what that's about. And so that kind of stuff is sitting in our shadow. That's the stuff that really drives what we do in our life now. And so sometimes when we're sitting in a certain position and we're trying to make a decision for ourselves, a lot of times the decision that we make can be based on the wiring or the patterning or the conditioning that we've had when we were younger. And that is going to drive everything. And so what's in your shadow is, we're being asked to look at, what you're being asked to look at is, what sort of wiring do I have around this situation? And ask some questions, why do I think this way? The Queen of Pentacles comes up, and she is the Queen of the Pentacle. And the Queen is the feminine side to us. The Queen is all about the body. She is all about grounding. She's all about getting back into your body. She's all about finding out your authenticity and who you really are. And so this whole shadow part of you is talking about, how are you wired to believe that you are a certain person? And there's this creative side here that's sitting in your shadow, and it's the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is all about our creativity. It's all about taking our life into the direction that we want to take it for us. It's all about doing something for you. And when I talk about creativity, I mean doing something for you. And this is what this is. This is like these Eight of Wands are just, you're going to throw them up in the air and say, you know what, I'm gonna figure out who the heck what am I supposed to be doing here? What else am I, you know, there's something, maybe there's something you know you want to do. And it's in reverse here. So that means it's very repressed. And so it's amazing. It's a beautiful read. It's very deep. It's saying that, you know, it's time to question what you've been told. Maybe you've been told there are certain things you can do or can't do, shouldn't do, not allowed to do, because these are the obedience. This is the obedience rules, right? And this is the way that you've been conditioned and patterned into believe that. And so that's what's coming up for you to look at. What sort of things do you have in your shadow, that belief systems that have told you certain things about yourself that it's time to start to look at? And what's coming up for you as advice from the tarot is the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles, it's very important when you want to understand this. It is an abundance card, but it's also a card that comes after the 8. And it's really important to understand what the 8 of Pentacles is. And the 8 of Pentacles is really about doing something, a job, committing yourself to a project that you really are passionate about, that you really want to do. A lot of times we get stuck in a career that we don't really, we just do it for money. And it's hard to imagine that we could do anything else. And a lot of times we don't even know what it is, what we would want to do. But we know that we're maybe not so happy in our job, or, you know, maybe we feel there's something out there. And this Nine of Pentacles is coming out for you. And the advice of the tarot is saying, you know, there is something out there for you. It's an abundance card. So there is something else out there for you. The universe is saying, here you go. Here's the offer. It's an offer from the universe, right here. But what's happening is there's a situation here where you're looking at those Three of Cups that you're sitting in, and you're kind of saying, you're either saying like, no, I'm good, thanks, you know, but you're not willing to look at it. And these are cups of emotions, right? And the Two of Swords here, the overriding energy, is also that cup where you're not wanting to, or the Swords is a mental energy where you're saying, I don't want to look at it. But the universe is saying, you know, here's another try here. Let's take another look. I'm going to give you another offer. Here's another chance to take a look at some of these emotions that maybe you're sitting with, that you're stuck in. You know, emotions are meant to flow in us and flow out. We're not supposed to get stuck in them. And sometimes we get stuck in them, hopelessness and depression and anger or grief, and we just get stuck in them. But here's the chance. The universe says, you know, another chance to maybe move some of these emotions out. And the Ace of Wands comes in as another offer from the universe and says, listen, here's a wand to find out, you know, what direction, where do you want to take your life? What do you want to do? And now's the time to really, because I see a lot of that coming in. And here is the Five of Cups in the end. So you get a lot of cups here. There's cups. You got the Two of Cups. You got the Four of Cups. You're getting the Five of Cups. And because I can see here that you have these 3 cups here that are spilled, and you're not even noticing the 2 behind you. And so this reading really, you know, speaks about it's time to start feeling again. There are some emotions that are stuck here. There are, you know, things that you've been told when you were younger, of things you couldn't do. And sometimes when we were told things are conditioned or wired to be a certain way, you know, sometimes if, you know, we were a teenager, we could have a lot of anger against the people that told us we couldn't do it. Or we could have a lot of grief. And so some of these emotions right here that are stuck, that you're sitting in, need to be moved out. And emotions are meant to flow, you know, in and out, in and out. And you don't even see that there's a bridge there, you know, that silver lining back there. You don't see that because you're too stuck on these 3 emotions right here. So it looks like it's really a time for you, Aries, to really get in touch with you know, it says it's time to get really intimate with yourself to find out who that other, you know, that other part of you is. It's a time to get intimate with yourself. Find out who you are, you know, to find out how you've been wired. What have you been wired to believe? That's making you, you know, blocked. It's blocking some of these emotions that you need to get at. All right, so I'm going to link at the end a video that I just put out on my other channel called Carol Cares. And it's a video about emotional journaling, which is very useful for what you need to, I think, get yourself into is learning how to journal from some of these emotions that are coming up and how to get them out on paper or on a computer. Because they're sitting here, they're stuck in your system, but they need to move. And so I'm going to leave you with a final oracle card for you. This one flipped up. Ooh. The Lion Spirit, be generous of spirit. And that is, where's my book? Here it is, 37. Okay, the Lion Spirit, be generous of spirit. A healthy ego means you ease God's order instead of edging God out. Lion Spirit's appearance is a reminder that you have been given the gift of pride and healthy sense of worth to express your divine, authentic self. You are both the king and the queen, secure in your prosperity and wisdom and generous of spirit as you help others. Take pride in your ability to serve from the heart. Contentment with what you have right now allows you to use your resources wisely as you give to others in ways that educate, heal, inspire, and delight. Lion Spirit knows there is a greater savannah before you, and many who will benefit from the healthy expression of your unique set of gifts if you choose to work in partnership with Spirit. All your relationships flourish as you express your worth and generosity of spirit with humility and kindness. Wow. A lot of beautiful things here that's said. You will benefit from the healthy expression of your unique set of gifts. And that's what I think sometimes, you know, you don't realize, Aries, is that you do have these gifts that are sitting here in your shadow that want to be expressed, because we have gifts in our shadow. A lot of people don't know that, but they're there. And it's time that you get to express them. But before that, you have some emotional journaling to do. So take care, and I'll see you mid-month. Bye-bye.